I'm Mark Brearley, a Professor of Urbanism from London and Master of Atelier, Brussels, Productieve Metropolis. I strongly believe that we need much more industry in our cities, in Brussels and the surrounding areas. With this atelier, we bring together designers, architects, politicians and entrepreneurs in urban meetings to brainstorm on the topic, but there's still a long way to go. Now, we go outside, looking for examples of how our future urban economy can be and how to design it. Through my eyes of an Englishman.
This canal runs through the heart of Brussels. In recent years, it's become more attractive, but it still marks a divide. On this side, Molenbeek, a poorer population, less education advantage, less people in work. And over here is where the prosperous city is concentrated, including luxury consumption, the big office blocks, all of that world. How do these two come together better? I'm convinced that industry plays a key part in that. Welcomed to the city again, reimagined for the future.
In the slaughterhouse at Anderlecht, a challenged part of town, I meet with Joris Thibaut, boss of the abattoir. This is not the most obvious example of the next economy.
Joris, we're close to the heart of the capital of Europe, and this is a slaughterhouse. What's going on?
We are here from the 19th century.
So we expect to see office blocks and shopping.
Come, I show you.
This is the roughest end of a huge, just-in-time industry supplying our daily food. Joris tells me that meat preparation and the food markets on site create 800 jobs, many of them for local people. And there's more.
We're in Anderlecht, a part of the city with a quarter of the working population out of work. Is this part of the solution?
I think so. It's important for the neighborhood, for the zone, the canal of the canal, to have this here in Anderlecht.
And the markets too.
If you come here in Belgium for the first time, you don't have a diploma. You try to make money. So you start a little business on the market. It's very easy when you have an economic concept of
entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
People will say, I'm sure, this kind of activity must be declining. It's a thing from the past.
I don't think so. There is a very short chain here in our company, and I will show you something very amazing for our plans for the future. So Mark, this is the present.
We're here?
Yes. And this is the dream for the future.
Wow.
So we are planning a big square for our markets. We realize the food mat for our people who are selling vegetables and meat. We are planning residential areas, workshops, and on the top of it, of the roof, we start here with an urban farm.
So a hugely diverse economy for this part of the city.
Yes, we think it's important to have an inclusive community. So if we can create jobs for the neighborhood, it's also important to have a good relation with them. So that's what we are doing.
We want this.
Yeah, thank you.
Not all development in the city is good. Not all architecture is good. This landmark tower has landed recently. It's pure residential. There's no other space for economic life, for industry, for workshops, for whatever you might choose to do. This is not a model for the future. We need to be more inventive about how we develop. Often we can learn from the past. This is another housing tower, must be 50 years old. It's got big spaces at the bottom. Now they're occupied by new making businesses. One of them's a bicycle factory. We're going to have a look.
Unlike the slaughterhouse, Vella Fabric is an example of new, more trendy industry in the city. But I'm curious to know why young people are so keen to start such a business in Brussels.
This is amazing.
Yes.
But can I ask you a tricky question? Why do this in the middle of the city when you surely could have a nice car park, trees, grass outside the city?
Yes, it's really a statement and it's a challenge for us, but at the same time, it really brings us in contact, in direct contact with our clients who appreciate to see that bicycles are made under their eyes with local craftsmanship. They really like that.
Why couldn't you just bring these ready-made from Taiwan or somewhere?
There are excellent bicycles made in Taiwan, but what we propose is different. We propose locally assembled bicycle, and it's made mostly of European parts. And as we are a cooperative factory, our owners are in fact the cyclists of Brussels. They own us, so they decide for us that we have to make local bicycle with local craftsmanships.
I'm from London. There we've got a company called Brompton. Could you be like them in 20 years' time?
That would really be great, and certainly they have begun in a small plant with not a lot of space and not a lot of funds. But once it can accelerate and become a success, but that we still don't know, we hope so. You see, our bicycles are a mix between tradition and modernity, and we use mostly European parts. But Mark, would you like to have a ride?
I'd love to.
Take this one, maybe.
Red one.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Let's go.
This workshop makes me hopeful. 30 years ago, they would have felt silly in the city. But now they sense it is the future, the right place to grow.
When I'm in Brussels, I see much that's different from London. Here, less industry has been pushed away, such as car repair workshops amongst housing, food industry, building material suppliers, big and small, mixed in. A pattern that London has nearly lost. Out of date, we had thought. But now we wake up, recognise these as seeds of a better urbanism. Lucky Brussels looks more ready than my city for the next economy.
Ulf Klein from Fabric has been helping our Atelier process, studying the circular economy in Brussels. The canal zone, from the centre out to Vilvoorde, is a crucial component.
Ulf, we hear a lot about the circular economy, about reuse. Here's a great big pile of old metal. Is that what you're talking about? Is that what everyone's saying?
Well, it's definitely the first step, I would say. So recycling is actually now mostly downcycling, but it would be interesting to also upcycle, to really use this material to produce totally new artifacts.
So all this old rubbish is a resource and we might be using it more.
Definitely, definitely, and this would be the place to do so. So to also introduce small spaces for workshops and fab labs that would manufacture the new things that people actually want to have.
Here in the city?
Exactly, right in the city heart.
Amazing.
While we journey on the canal to Flanders, Ulf sees more opportunities. The old Renault site could be a facility for materials recycling. Food waste could be used in a biohub in Buda rather than burnt.
So this is the water treatment place.
Exactly. Looks like a big grey box right now, but it could be turned into a biohub. It could be the place in which we get all the valuable materials out of our water system. And if you think of how much organic waste now goes into the incinerator, but could also be put into the sewage system and then get out in the biohub, then this place could turn into a very exciting place for the city actually.
This canal already has along it many elements of a circular economy, but there is potential for much more. Rubbish is a resource.
In the north of Brussels, just into Flanders, around the big road flyover, we find a different kind of city fabric. Out here, the presence of industry is more extensive. You sense the history. Much is denuded, and the legacy often feels daunting. But these brown fields can be a doorway to the future. Project developer Alexander Steens has plans for an interesting project in Mechelen. It's not a small one, 60,000 square meters.
Here we are, Alexander. This is a site that you want to do this, I think. Tell us about it.
Correct, Mark. This is the place where we're planning to build a fully integrated mixed project. It's a mixed project of wholesale, SME, so smaller units where things can be manufactured. Also residential, some SME, so smaller units there.
But you're a developer. They're hard-nosed people. Developers don't do mix, do they? It's old-fashioned. It's too hard to make it stack up.
It's true that it's not easy. It's quite difficult, but we're convinced that while doing it right and good integrated, that you can make a perfect project.
So do you think there's a shift in attitude happening?
This is what we believe, yes. We believe more in integrated, mixed projects than just in one single-used big development, yes.
There is still some cleaning up to do here, but now such sites are scarce, and their mixed urban future looks bright.
Sometimes it gets said that the idea of a city having a fully mixed economy is from the past, the 19th century. It's no more. But I don't agree. I think this is an idea for the future, for the current century. Our attitudes have changed. What people want has changed, and what makes sense for the future has changed. We need for our good cities to have industry, and what we see in Brussels and around is a golden opportunity to make that happen.